for gym owners like yourself, I guess that's probably a great place to start off. We seem down here in Australia, we seem to be reopening, but it's been really, really hard for a lot of you guys who do this for a living. So do you want to tell me kind of how you've dealt with that and how you've been dealing, I guess, with the last year and a half?
Well, obviously, as you said, it's been kind of difficult with COVID. It's one of those situations that is a little bit perplexing for myself. The health industry, for some reason, seems to be, or the health and fitness industry, so gyms and martial arts schools and the like, seem to be one of the first places they will shut down and one of the last places that they'll open. They tend to hold on to restrictions in gyms and fitness centers more than they do in shopping centers. Again, it's quite surprising because when you think about it, COVID has demonstrated one thing, and that's if you have failing health, then you're more susceptible for severe reactions and death and all that sort of stuff. So you would expect people would want to improve their health, get into the gym regularly. And, the risk of infection, I think, is much lower than a lot of other settings because of the intensity of the training and because what you're doing in the gym, a lot of people won't go to gym classes, even if they're feeling a little bit under the weather, because I know a lot of the times it's more likely to make the situation worse. So you don't get a lot of that. I don't think you have that risk of transmission as you would say in a shopping center, where if someone's got the sniffles, they'll happily go shopping. But if they're feeling blocked up and they can't breathe, they're not going to go to training because they're going to get smashed. They know it, If it's the gym, they're not going to be able to lift the weights they usually do. If it's in jiu-jitsu, they're going to be worried about being overwhelmed by their training partner. Same with boxing or kickboxing. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing to see gyms not given I believe, the respect that they're kind of due. And for large portions of it, we got totally shut down. So we did have to kind of rely on government handouts and subsidies. Sadly, they don't cover all the expenses that are involved in. I mean, even while not operating, there are a lot of costs that go on into keeping the gym running. You've still got to deal with rent. And even though there's rent relief, there are a lot of catches to it and repayment plans. So after the first lockdown, we opened up again. It was a little bit slow at first, but it really started to pick up. And it probably took about 12 months from reopening to finally be able to get ahead of, or back on track to where we were before. Business was picking up. Most of the debts were under control, and I was kind of in a situation where things were looking good. I ended up opening a second gym. So obviously, King's Academy, which was the offshoot from SBMA in the day. So that's kind of like my baby. It's what I've always wanted, a full-time place, having everything under one roof, all that sort of stuff. And now I've opened up a UFC gym, which again is a franchise, but I'm quite passionate about the UFC gym because it brings the values, the benefits, the positives that I see in martial arts to the general public who may not come to a more traditional martial arts gym. They might find it a little bit overwhelming going to a kickboxing or a jiu-jitsu school or something like that, but they'll go into a UFC gym because it's a little bit more public friendly. It's more aimed at the general population, and you get to introduce them to the benefits of things like boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. And what I love about these sports is that they're things you can keep going for the rest of your life. Even doing, as you would know, doing the same technique week after week, it's done differently every time based on your partner, the spot you are in the day. No technique you do is ever the same 2 times in a row. And I think because of that, it allows you to kind of keep going and going and going and really continuing to learn and appreciate the art. I've been involved in it for probably getting close to 30 years, or about 25, 26 years of jiu-jitsu and well over 30 to 40 years in martial arts. And I'm still going. I still absolutely love it. I'm still learning new stuff. I'm always evolving and adding new things and appreciating what the sport kind of brings. And obviously this next lockdown hit us right. Honestly, for myself, it probably couldn't have come at a worse time. I just finally got ahead of all the debts, and I'd opened up my new gym, and I'd been open for a week when we got shut down. So again, I now had 2 gyms that I had to kind of keep alive until we're able to reopen again. And one of the biggest issues is all the government assistance is based on what you've lost, and they require you to provide financial documents showing what you've lost. You know, so they will go, okay, let's show us what you made in 2019 and what you're doing now.
So in the case of the second gym, you don't have any books behind it.
There's literally nothing I can provide, and then it just causes all sorts of issues in that regard. So, you know, I've dealt with it. I've managed. I'm doing things to ensure that they're not compromised, but it puts a lot more workload behind the scenes for keeping the gyms running. So at the moment, I'm spending most of my time behind the scenes. I'm not in at the gyms. My job is to ensure that everything is running smooth, all the finance and all that is sorted, so that, you know, we can continue to push forward and keep growing. I mean, because a big part of why I do this is, as you would understand, is for my son. You know, I want to create something for him in the future. Obviously, my legacy comes with that, but then there's also financial security that I want to be able to pass on to him as well.